Liquids are ranked on a scale from 0 to 14. The lower the pH level, the stronger the acid. Human stomach acid is typically 1.0 to 2.0, meaning that it has an incredibly strong pH. In a study published in the Journal of gastrointestinal endoscopy, scientists found that thickened black and a single-edged blade dissolved after 2 hours of immersion in stomach acid. That is just one of many fun facts about the human body. A laser can get trapped in water. A cool thing called total internal reflection. And this happens when you point a laser beam at a jet of flowing water. To demonstrate this phenomenon, PBS Learning Media released a video in which a laser is positioned on one side of a clear tank of water. When the light travels through the water, it is slowed by the heavier particles in the water, effectively trapping the laser beam in the water. Even as the water flow is gradually decreased, the laser beam remains contained inside the jet until it eventually disappears when the water is completely turned off. Alright, our next fact. Earth's oxygen is produced by the ocean. Have you ever stopped to think about where oxygen comes from? Your first thought may be the rainforest, but here's a cool science fact for you. We can thank plant-based marine organisms for all that fresh air. According to the National Oceanic Service, plankton, seaweed, and other photosynthesizers produce more than half of the world's oxygen. While we may know the answer to this question, scientists still can't explain other ocean mysteries. The ocean is a very, very mysterious place. I'm sure that is something that we can all agree on. Okay, our next fact. Animals use Earth's magnetic field for orientation. Lost land animals may not be able to find their way home, but sea animals might, according to the U.S. Geographical Survey. There's evidence that some animals, like sea turtles and salmon, have the ability to sense the Earth's magnetic field through the use rats have the ability to laugh when tickled. A video from the National Geographic demonstrates that rats respond positively to tickling, and they even chased after the researcher's hand in a playful manner. I actually watched that video in a psychology class, and I suggest that you also watch it as well. Our next fact is bananas are radioactive. Bananas contain potassium, and since potassium decays, that makes the yellow fruit slightly radioactive. But don't worry, you need to eat 10 million bananas in one sitting to die of banana-induced radiation. I think you would die from other things before that if you were to eat 10 million bananas in one sitting. Okay. Hot water freezes faster than cold water. This may seem counterintuitive, but it's called the Memba effect. Scientists now believe this is because of the velocities of water particles that have specific disposition while they're hot, that allows them to freeze more rapidly. If proven correct, this finding may also be applied to everyday things like cooling down electronic devices. There are more trees on Earth than stars in our galaxy. This is giving me a little bit of deja vu to our video about space facts. But here we go. NASA experts believe there could be anywhere from 1 billion to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way. However, a 2015 paper published in the journal Nature estimated that number of trees around the world is much higher than 3.04 trillion. Alright, the next fact is humans have genes from other species. And I'm quoting the article, at least with this one. I don't necessarily like how they worded this, but we like to think of humans as being superior to other living creatures. I don't really agree with that, but the reality is our genome consists of as many as 145 genes that have jumped from one bacteria, fungi, other single-celled organisms, and viruses, according to a study published in the journal Genome Biology. I saw this video once where they explained that your a millionth great-great-great-great-grandfather was a fish, and that Next fact. Humans have a lot of DNA. I think people know that, but let's expand into this topic a little bit. Scientists believe that there are more than 3 billion based pairs of DNA in human genes and more than 25,000 genes in the human genome. According to an article in Nature, an entire copy of that genome exists in each of the 30 to 40 trillion cells in the human body. It's a good thing that there are so many base pairs of human DNA. Okay. Well, this one is very interesting and cool. It can rain diamonds on other planets. The atmospheres in Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn have such extreme pressures that they can crystallize carbon atoms and turn them into diamonds. American scientist reports. How do we know this science fact? Researchers were able to create the correct conditions in a lab to prove this occurs on Neptune and Uranus. Separately, other researchers speculate that it may rain as much as 2.2 million pounds of diamonds on certain parts of Saturn every year. Diamonds are certain planets' best friends. Okay, our next fact takes us back to 2.5. No, takes us back a long time. But there were 2.5 billion T-Rexes on Earth, but not all at the same time. Okay, maybe a lot of people get confused by this. Humans have been marveling the size of T-Rexes ever since putting a full skeleton together. Now, thanks to research published in April 2021, scientists have a better idea of exactly how many of them once called Earth their temporary home. According to the team at the University of California, Berkeley, approximately 2.5 billion of these dinosaurs existed across more than 127,000 generations. They reached this estimate by taking into account the dinosaurs' body size, sexual maturity, and energy needs. By the way, this is what T-Rexes actually sounded like. Rawr. I'm not gonna play the soundbite. Just kidding. Okay. Water can exist in 3 states at once. This state is called the triple boil or triple point, and it is a specific just above freezing and at a pressure of 0.006 atm. The next fact: helium can work against gravity. When helium is cooled to extreme temperatures, just a few degrees away from absolute zero, it turns into a superfluid, meaning it can flow without friction. Scientific American reports it can climb up and over the sides of glass and leak in through molecular thin cracks in a container. And here's the other interesting fact about the element. While helium is the most abundant element in the universe, it may be harmful to the human body. One of many problems with birthday balloons that no one talks about. Well, I've inhaled a lot of helium balloons, so it's been nice knowing you all. Okay, the next fact. Solar flares are incredibly powerful. The energy solar flares release is equivalent to 100 or to millions of 100 megaton atomic bombs exploding at once. That's a lot. According to NASA, it's a good thing that the Earth's atmosphere protects us from the radiation. Thank God for that. Okay, this next one is: it's impossible to burp in space. When you burp on Earth, gravity keeps down solids and liquids from the food you ate, so the only gas that escapes your mouth. So it's only the gas that escapes your mouth. In the absence of gravity, the gas cannot separate from liquids and solids, so burping essentially turns into puking. What? That's kind of my worst nightmare, but yeah. Another reason why I will not actually go to space, just admire it from below. Okay. The next fact is pretty disturbing. Plastic can end up as vanilla flavoring. Researchers have figured out how to transform plastic bottles into vanilla flavoring with genetically engineered bacteria. According to a study 2021 published in the Journal of Green Chemistry, the author of the study explains that the demands for was not a great hypothesis, but I'm glad that we have been able to figure that out. The next fact I actually know, but not all of you may know this. Men are more likely to be colorblind than women. The genes are responsible for the most common type of color blindness found on the X chromosome. The National Eye Institute explains, even if women have the genes on one of their two X chromosomes, a properly functioning gene on the other one makes up for that loss. If men inherit the gene only on X chromosome, they will become colorblind. The next fact is that we have no idea what most of the universe looks like. About 96% of the universe is made up of dark matter and dark energy, which are undetectable to humans. Space.com reports, scientists believe this is because the particles that make up these substances don't interact with regular matter or light, whatever regular means, I suppose. The next one is interesting, especially with the current state of the world and the beliefs around where the coronavirus started. But bats don't get sick from most viruses, and yep, that includes coronaviruses. Bats, of course, can contract and spread viruses, but according to research funded by the European Commission, they also have plenty of genes responsible for antiviral activity, keeping them out of harm's way. One exception to this is rabies, although according to Thomas Kepler, PhD, a professor of microbiology at Boston University, while bats occasionally get sick from rabies, it rarely kills them. I think humans need to learn a thing or two about how the evolutionary process of not getting that sick from viruses happened in bats so that we can adapt it ourselves. So let's manifest. I'm kidding, but 1,000 subscribers, and we're actually pretty close to hitting the amount of watch hours before monetization. And as a celebration, I will be doing a full cranial exam roleplay video, as you guys voted in the community page. But if you are not already asleep, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell. This specific video was made because of a constructive criticism I received in the comments. So if you guys have a video that you would like me to make